Macmillan Audio presents The Man Nobody Killed. Life, Death, and Art in Michael Stewart's New York. By Elon Green. Narrated for you by Dion Graham. For my parents, who taught me about injustice. What you did was awful. Not what I did, it's what I was. If I was white, I'd be alive. Toni Morrison. Call it what it is. Ben Harper. Call it what it is. Prologue. Not long after midnight on September 15th, 1983, Michael Stewart telephoned Patricia Pesci. He didn't know her all that well, as they'd spent only a few hours together a couple of weeks before at Lucky Strike, a bar in the East Village where her sister was DJing. Michael was 25, 4 years younger than Patricia. A slender man, nearly 6 feet tall, he was black and unusually handsome, with wide-spaced eyes and a palpable air of thoughtfulness. His short locks often carried a scent of the coconut oil he used to style them. When he spoke, it was only after careful deliberation. His quiet and unassuming way of moving through the world was in crisp contrast to the loud, brash circus of early 80s Manhattan, with its melange of assertive personalities, each striving to be the most colorful in the room. Ironically, what might have made Michael recede elsewhere, here in New York, made him stand out. When you saw him, his quietness drew you in. With his friends, he was sweet and playful, knowledgeable about fashion, art, and especially music, all pursuits that made his particular corner of New York City tick. Michael rented a studio in Lower Manhattan where he made art, but he also did some DJing and modeling and a little dancing for the Odd Video Project, while working less glamorous gigs on the side. A cobbled-together life very common in the early 80s downtown scene. During that first hangout at Lucky Strike, Michael had shown Patricia his latest art project, which involved pages and pages of black and white contact sheets on which he'd drawn with marker. Years later, she'd recall that as they walked a few blocks near St. Mark's Place, snow had unexpectedly fallen on the city. Pesci hadn't expected to ever see Michael again, but when he called her on what would turn out to be his final good night, she agreed to meet him at the Pyramid Club. When she arrived, he had already been there for a while, after a failed attempt to crash a party at the home of Keith Haring. The artist, skinny and bespectacled and also 25, had spent the past years dotting the city's walls and subway cars with chalked and painted works faster than they could be erased. Pesci arrived at the loud, grimy, eclectic, electric East Village Club and snaked her way through the crowd to order a drink. A slight woman, dressed that night all in black, she followed Michael to the basement, the domain of staff and regulars. The first night they'd hung out, Michael had been quiet. Conversation with sweet Michael, Pesci would observe, meant that you did most of the talking. Tonight, as they sat together on a couch, he was unusually chatty. Michael took a sip from Pesci's drink of rum and orange juice and shared his excitement. He'd gotten a spot DJing at Lucky Strike, and he'd just modeled on a shoot for a magazine. As the two talked, he found a cowrie shell on the couch and gave it to Pesci. She'd later think of this as an omen. All told, they were together in the club for about an hour and 15 minutes. After leaving the Pyramid, the two walked a block west and then perched on a tenement stoop to talk further. The night was chilly. Noticing Pesci's discomfort, Michael offered her his top layer. "I'm going to show you my shirt," he told her. The shirt underneath was designed by Peter Key, an up-and-comer in the fashion world. Everybody's been trying to see it all day. They sat for a while longer and smoked. Michael said he was going to have his own show. If you were an aspiring artist then, the solo show was the landmark event you aimed for. Just the year before, Haring had had one at the Tony Shafrazi Gallery, and it had vaulted him forward toward fame. And fame, as much as money, was the hungry aim of this time. As Haring put it during a characteristically clear-eyed interview about where he wanted to go and what it would take to get there, "When you go to the top of the Empire State Building and look around at how many lights there are, I think I could work my ass off my whole life and never make a dent. I would like to get in everybody's house." Jean-Michel Basquiat, a friend of Haring.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?